Listen to the following talk.
Anxious about menopause while my husband is still vigorous. I once witnessed my father take a mistress in his 60s, and now I find myself standing before this challenging stage of marriage. After reading the series of articles titled Fathers in Their 60s Paying for Sex, I wanted to share my thoughts from a woman's perspective and to understand the views of women my age on this issue. I experienced my father's infidelity when my mother declined after giving birth to 4 children in a row. I once accompanied my mother on a fight with the mistress when I was 6, resulting in injuries. I witnessed my father take a second wife in his 60s, and now I find myself in a similarly challenging stage of marriage. I'm entering menopause while my husband is still physically strong. To say that I'm not anxious or reflective would be a lie, especially for someone who has witnessed the hell of family life for so many years, stemming from men's primal urges and women's tolerance. I often wonder if, when we were young, my mother didn't divorce because of us children. Why didn't she do it when she was over 60? Why did she stay until the house was lost and the love turned into hatred so deep that she refused to honor my father after his death, even though they were still married on paper? As for myself, my husband and I are the same age, classmates, and have been through countless ups and downs in our marriage, understanding each other completely. We've shared everything without boundaries, moving beyond love to become lifelong soulmates. Even though he has told me, at worst, once in a while, you can let me buy bread, I understand that life is finite, and who knows how long we will walk this path together. The difficulty for women in releasing their husbands at age 60 lies in the fact that their whole lives have been dedicated to their children and families. When given freedom, they don't know where to go. Having no hobbies, a small circle of friends, and social interactions limited almost entirely to family. On the other hand, they are the ones who maintain the family traditions, relationships with relatives, holiday customs, ancestor worship, and countless other responsibilities, freeing men to pursue their own interests. Even if women want to free themselves, their husbands and children won't let them. Simply because the family would fall apart, traditional ceremonies would end, and there's the financial risk of dividing assets and caring for elderly parents. What about if they choose to turn a blind eye and maintain the family like our ancestors did for generations? Like my parents, who tormented each other until death and even afterward. And what about me? I confide in my husband. We used to be friends, and now we can be friends again if we can't continue as husband and wife. Society and even I look down on men who buy bread. So why can't you have a proper mistress if that's what you want? A young wife if that's what you want? You have the assets, the health and vitality at the peak of a man's life. Why not find a young wife who truly suits you? Introduce her to your ex-wife and children with dignity, earning everyone's respect because you deserve it. After all, you yourself don't want relationships with prostitutes when you could be with a respectable woman, right? Why accept moral degradation or lower yourself just to preserve family traditions? What beauty or goodness can be built on a foundation of illegality against social morals? I have my own dreams, which I put aside for years for the sake of our children. Now that they are grown, I have no more obligations. I will stay with you as long as you desire, and we'll make a pact. If you can't control your urges, you are free to act on them, but do so with dignity. Divorce is necessary for you to live the rest of your life with your head held high, for our children to see a role model in their family, and for me to live without resentment, no longer tied to the responsibilities of your family, nor subjected to public judgment. Whatever happens, we will live peacefully, respecting each other, so that in old age we are not a burden or a source of worry for our children. My child asked me cautiously, "So if Dad doesn't have anyone in old age, could you two live together?" I answered, "It's possible, if I don't hold any resentment or blame, and we were once good friends. If we divorce amicably and neither of us has anyone else, whoever is still healthy and clear-minded could help care for the other. If not, you can just place us in a nursing home for your convenience when visiting." I hope I can do what I say. Life is a continuous struggle, a constant transformation of oneself to avoid repeating the mistakes of those who came before us. If years ago I stayed in the marriage for the sake of my children, today I am ready to end it for the sake of my husband and myself, if it's only in name and no longer serves as a true home for all its members.
This content is just an example for learning English. Thank you for watching. How do you feel about this video? Please leave a comment below.